Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch. And everything's going to be all right.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is hashtag Thought Thursday. We're going to talk about how to deal with jealousy on social media. I know that all of us deal with a lot of stuff coming in. We come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, have some inspiration, some laughs, and some juice.
Yes.
Yes, special thanks to our friends at Splendid Spoon, New York, for the delivery of our smoothies and our soups. It's plant-based, nutrient-dense, busy can be healthy, so thank you, Nicole Centeno, for sending this over to us. The studio is stacked now with Splendid Spoon.
Yeah, so if you want to be your best self, it's actually what it says. I love that.
As we do here.
Little soup?
Absolutely. I'm such a girl on the go, from the studio to the red carpet or whatever it is. I eat out of my purse all the time, so this has been a perfect solution for me. Thank you again, Splendid Spoon, and thank you to our very special guests. Welcome to the studio. Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Legendary landscape artist Steve Griggs is in the house. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everyone, and we are going to get LALALAND to film on location in New York one of these days.
All right.
There it is.
You heard it here first.
That's the mission.
La La Land is not about LA. La La Land is about the Lala in all of us.
That's
that
right.
dreamer, that shapeshifter. That's right.
And that dreamer in me is bi-coastal, Steve. So this is the perfect opportunity. We're talking straight dirt today and some of the incredible rooftops and landscapes that you've created. But first we want to know, how do you start your day, Steve? What's your morning routine?
Well, when I got to LA this morning, I jumped in the swimming pool at around 5 o'clock. It was a little chilly. I typically get up around 4:30, send some emails out. I find that if you contact the clients very early in the morning, they think that you're the first things that they're thinking about, and they really appreciate that. Go to the gym, walk the dogs, get the head straight, and then just start hitting it hard. That's what I do.
The New Yorker.
Love it.
True
Yeah.
and true.
So much better than what I used to do when I worked at a consulting firm. I would set my alarm for like 2:30 just to wake up to hit send on certain emails. Give them the impression I was working really hard. I was, but it made it seem like I was working even harder than I was.
Well, Haley Ringo is in the house. She is the host of Landed Late Night. Good morning, Haley.
Good morning, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Good
Well,
morning.
absolutely. Thank you for waking up with us. We know you're a late night girl.
Yeah,
so
that
the
was
morning thing.
That was rough. I got up this morning. I was like, this is new for me. 6 a.m. Here we go.
So how do you do mornings, Haley? What's your routine like?
So typically, for me, it's really beneficial to get up and I try to meditate every morning and pray, because it just kind of clears my mind, gets me in the right headspace, and then I can start my day from there. So if I can, I like to get a workout in. That doesn't always happen depending on like meetings and things like that. But yeah, every day meditation and prayer. That's how I start my day to clear my head. So.
Love it.
She's figured out how to listen to that small voice.
Yes. Yes. Here we go. Looping it in. I love that.
Exactly. We've got the authors, Mike Mackenzie Morrison, in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing this new book. We're really excited for you and your journey. Tell us a little bit about how you start your day.
Well, I start my day with 2 cats, so they have to be fed, but and then it's coffee. You know, cats, then coffee, and then I quietly start to move into the day.
Quietly.
Cats and coffee. Quietly. All about alliteration here today.
That's a good IG handle there, cats and coffee.
What about you, Mackenzie? How do you start your day? What's your
I was
routine?
about to say the same thing, but with 2 dogs. So definitely not a quiet morning, but dogs and then coffee for sure.
Sounds like that's a family routine.
Right? That's like a little bit of love.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
It is Thursday, and my son is coming in town
Oh,
tomorrow.
right.
That's what I know. I'll tell you what, it's really sad, you guys. Like, as a mom, for all the parents out there, like, it's the most amazing thing when your kids are little. It's a lot of work, and it's the most joyful time ever. And then they grow up and they have their own life.
Yes.
I don't think that I don't think we're supposed to be designed like this. I think that we're supposed to live in tribe, and we're supposed to stay in the tribe.
Yeah.
I think it's devastating how we live.
Yeah. Do you like the idea of them living with you for through
Yeah,
their
or,
adulthood?
well, tribe, and you know, whether it may be like right under the same roof exactly, but I always picture, you know, how we probably, you know, lived for probably hundreds of years was in tribe. We didn't like, okay, see ya, I'll see ya once every couple months. Like, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I like the idea of living alone. But I can appreciate someone who doesn't.
But if you think about it, we all moved away from our families.
So true.
It's part of what we do now.
So true.
We have the ability, thank you to the internet, to be able to live anywhere in the world and still stay connected, whether it's through FaceTime or Skype. And even though my mom's in Michigan, I feel like I get to see her every day.
Yeah, that's amazing, Jess. I love that. I do get the point sort of that you're making, Erin, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it is so much easier, particularly when you have kids, just to raise them in almost a village kind of atmosphere.
Well, maybe with your guys' family, maybe you talk a lot more. With my family, not. Well, you know, we might talk once a week or once every couple of weeks or whatever. I talk to Coburn a couple of times, at least a few times a week, but it's brief, you know, like, it's not the same.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
the
true.
same.
But I can speak for my entire family and say that you're part of our family, Erin, and you are more than welcome to join the little conference calls that we have.
I'm adopting your family.
Speaking of family, we are part of the daytime television family. Last year we had the honor of celebrating at the Emmys, and this year we were at the 8th annual Lanny Entertainment Mixer celebrating the pre-Emmy nominations. We have some of the red carpet footage from behind the scenes. There's Ms. Elizabeth Lake. She was recently seen on Amazon's The Bay. She hosts a show here on that note. Gregory Martin, he's the creator of The Bay. Of course, BJ. He knows everybody in this town, including Christos Andrews, star of The Bay, and nominated once again for lead actor in digital daytime series.
Buddy Vincent DePaul.
Vincent DePaul, we love you so
him.
much.
And we also love a little 9-band whiskey. Special shout out to their Southern California rep, Jeremy Lake. It's an Austin whiskey, and it's for, you know, anyone who doesn't want to miss out in the party. US case like FOMO, like me, Barlight, Starlight, you do you. But thank you so much for always welcoming us into the daytime family. We really do appreciate it.
It is like a family in LA, in LA.
Yes, right?
So what's going on this weekend for you guys?
I don't know. Real quick note, it's so crazy how small LA and the entertainment business
really is.
isn't it? Vince DePaul, and he mentioned it at one of the dinners we went to, it was the Roger Neal event, that he and I were modeling 15 years ago together in Miami, and we had the most embarrassing jobs that we do together with our friendly, most embarrassing jobs. Like, it's unbelievable that I actually was doing
And I met them because I was dating one of the models.
Right, that's right. How wild is that?
That's right.
Such a small world.
Such a small world.
Always amazed, never surprised. I'm really excited. I'm going to do a photo shoot with our friend Emma, creator of Desert Daisy Jewelry, so that'll be so fun. I'm doing that this weekend.
Oh, super fun,
love
Jess.
that.
Good plan.
My son's coming to town, and then our cousin, who was on the show, Evan, is having his 30th bash. So he is having a big to-do at their house and catering and all that good stuff.
Super nice.
The
So it's family
party's on.
time.
It's family time.
Awesome. You love family time.
And Lori Harder is having her Bliss project down at OC, so I'm going to try and get down there at some point in time.
So much fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
Gonna stay in because it's like
It's supposed to rain this whole weekend, right?
I know.
Yeah.
We were gonna do. I was gonna take my son and his girlfriend on some photo shoots around Los Angeles because everybody loves having photo shoots in LA. But yeah, it's not gonna probably be that. We're not gonna do that.
LA is very Instagram worthy, isn't it?
It is.
Speaking about Instagram-worthy moments, I think the topic of the day is so interesting, and avoiding jealousy on social media. How can you do that?
Oh my gosh, so it's so interesting because I rarely get like jealous or anything like that. We have a bunch of girlfriends doing this big, there's 14 of them coming together for this event. They're doing this big giveaway, and every day they're shouting at each other. And I had this moment, I was like I felt like I was in junior high again. I was like, why am I not involved? And I was like, and it was like an instant, like, oh yeah, because my partner is divine source, right? So you instantly go inside. But I was thinking, how hard would that be if you didn't have a spiritual practice? I was thinking it could really mess you up. It brought me back for like an instant around junior high when you feel like you're left out of all the trendy girl, popular girl thing.
Yeah, you can spiral real quickly, right?
You can spiral really, really quickly, right?
It's so interesting how that can just trigger insecurity or jealousy, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram, and pictures from the past pop up and those memories, and then they see that your life now and how it's different. And it's hard not to get jealous.
For sure.
It's hard not to go down that rabbit hole.
You got to be really grounded, for sure. I was thinking about it as like, one, of course, you have to have a completely unshakable identity, not looking to the outside world for any validation or anything. Number one, that. And then number two, I was thinking that you should definitely only follow people that really lift you up. And all those 14 women are incredible women, so follow all of them. But I was thinking about, if you had a daily spiritual practice around social media, you've got to be disciplined to not engage with and look at people's things that are going to trigger you if it's not giving you good jojo.
I completely agree. It is all about sort of consuming it in a healthy way, right? And I think also for me, it's using people's posts as reminders of what I want to be or want to see or recognize within myself, right? And without that recognition, I think it's a minefield, really.
It
You
is.
know, and
It
if you're
is.
not entering that space in a healthy mindset, if you're not centered and grounded and focused on seeing the best in yourself and others, then it does become kind of toxic.
So what do you do though when your post triggers somebody else?
Oh,
and then
great question.
that's brought to your attention, because we've all been guilty of that when we post something with very good intentions, just in a moment of celebration or a moment to share, and it unintentionally hurts someone else.
Yeah.
It's true, and you know, especially like us, we're running around red carpet, whatever, and it's like, how do you do that in a tasteful way? But I do think that one of the common things that we know is engaging, is really talking about the hard things that you've been through. I think that helps people relate, that you're not just like it's all glamorous, that you deal with stuff, and how do you overcome it, and really celebrating our lives instead of flaunting our lives.
Yeah, I love that. I would also say what's worked for me, and I want to hear what worked for you, Jez, but for me is not responding. I think you know, if you engage the ego, you just feed it and you fuel it, and so that resistance that you put up is just leads to what you resist persist, right? So it just leads to persistence. So it doesn't matter how loving and positive your intentions are when you post or when you respond. If the ego of the other person is activated, they're not going to receive it lovingly or positively, right? And so there's just not really a whole lot of hope there. You can try. I've tried before and said, oh, I just meant love for you and peace and happiness, but the ego can't really digest that. Yeah. What's worked for you, Jez? Anything particular?
No, I haven't figured it out. That's why I'm asking the experts over here.
I think it's interesting because years ago, I think I told you this, that years ago when I would post on social media, I don't know if times have changed or maybe my consciousness has changed or what, but I used to have people kind of respond, you know, because I'd post things about spirituality and people would have their own opinion about whatever, and they'd kind of come back with something. And I would I would notice when I did engage, it would become like this whole heated thing. And so I just completely stopped engaging. In fact, I would just give them love back in a comment. And it completely went away, but I thought, well, maybe it's just the times have changed or something.
Yeah, you mean in terms of there being more jealousy and hate?
Or I was thinking maybe less. Maybe people
yeah.
don't, but I don't know.
It could be your consciousness too,
Or
right?
I think
you're
it's
attracting less.
it depends on the audience you're curating.
Yeah.
Certainly.
One of my favorite quotes is, think nothing, say nothing, and do nothing if you want to avoid criticism.
Right.
So, in other words, you're always going to be criticized. And in fact, often the higher you rise and the more popular or well-known you become, the more jealousy and hate.
For sure,
you
for sure.
invite.
It's called what is it called? It's called there's a name for that.
Yeah, jealousy.
But I remember, so we used to do communication drills in metaphysics. There's communication drills, and one thing, if somebody comes back with something negative, instead of you responding and really engaging that, you just keep going forward with whatever it is that you want to. You don't even acknowledge it, and you just keep moving forward with what you do want to create instead of focusing on the problem.
Absolutely. The sort of main principle or theme here, psychological principle, is that most of us think that we can extinguish undesirable bad behavior by giving attention, even positive attention or negative attention, but that's not the way you extinguish undesirable or bad behavior, so to speak. You starve it of attention. You don't give it attention, good or bad.
The Messiah complex, that's what it is. So if somebody looks to you like you're a leader or someone, they either have to make you into kind of like this almighty being, or they have to kind of crush you down because they don't know quite what to do in the psyche, because they have to justify wherever they view you. So they have to really put you up on a pedestal, or they have to kind of say all kind of bad things.
One of my favorites, so we talk about Osho sometimes, one of my favorite quotes from Osho, he essentially said, I have made a commitment to myself to receive everything everybody ever says as a compliment.
Yes.
So I think it's, and it's worth noting, like if you think about Jesus or Buddha, like if they had not had haters, they would not have been promoted to where they were promoted, right? They would not be well known.
Any PR is good PR.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and it brings up that point, that Abraham Hicks quote, that my happiness doesn't depend on you, it depends on me, so you're off the hook.
Oh, yes.
You really have to sit and reflect on that, because my happiness isn't a reflection of my post or your post or the comments or the likes or anything like that. Just be happy within yourself.
Oh, it's everything, Jazz. Yeah, if you genuinely prioritize peace, happiness, and self-love, it doesn't affect you, because you always are going to vet for the peace, happiness, and self-love, and you're not going to be distracted by the hate.
Right? Yeah. Well, before we take a break, I just want to give a shout out. We do have our event next Tuesday at Kimpton Lapeer, and guess who I'm going to interview for part of it about becoming a conscious man. It's about 90% sold out, so if you don't have tickets already, you can get tickets at my my bio link in Instagram, where you can DM me.
I heard that dude's really dope. I heard he's really dope.
He's tapped in, tuned in, turned on. Rob Mack official.
All right. Well, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to your home for talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, and this is Ever Talk TV, America's first live streaming video talk show platform. This week on Ever Talk, our shows were filled with positivity, enlightenment, insta fame, insta scandals, and binge-worthy conversations. Let's take a look.
Today's guest dislikes titles. Although he is an amazing, talented actor and a real-life Viking, he prefers to be valued by how many belly laughs he can get you to have in the shortest amount of time.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering, and this is the Housewives of Hollywood. You might think you know the Housewives, but it's not rosé all day, Pilates, and finding the best nannies. It's women supporting women, and today I have a very special guest, and we might have to change the name just to Housewives of Beverly Hills for Tori Spelling. Tori, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, anything for you. Hello, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I'm Brad Grunberg.
And you're watching
How to Start.
I ask all my guests, and you know I'm about to ask you, what is your golden secret?
I mean, it's so simple. You know, you just be the person you want to be around.
Who knew, that like 20 years later we'd be running a beauty empire together, empowering women everywhere.
But we need to
globally.
know, since we have Ian on, is there any really good stories from the past that you guys are willing to share with everyone today?
Oh my.
I mean, like,
Well, now that you say that, as his friend, I cannot answer that question.
Go ahead.
Plead the
What do you got?
fifth.
What do you got?
Oh, I got a lot.
Oh, do you?
No. He's so great. Like, and we were honestly, like, outside of work, we were really good friends. Like, we used to go out and hang out, and he's a good boy. He's a mad dancer, I gotta tell you. You still are, though. But he used to bust out some moves.
I can say this. First of all, people don't know, but you're beautiful on screen, but you're hotter in person.
Thank you.
And we need more Maria Conchita Alonsos in this world.
I think so.
You do. You give your heart. You have this talent, but you give and give, and you help people.
Because if people knew how good it feels when you help, when you are saving a life and you're helping to save a life, if they knew how good it feels,
It feels
just
better
even
to
to make you feel good.
I know.
You're gonna make me cry now.
No, that's okay.
It's just the truth.
Mic check, mic check.
Well, thank you so much for coming and doing my job for me.
Hey, no problem. You know, I'm really excited about it. I love going on shows and taking over as the host. It's really fun.
I really love it. I'm just going to sit back. If you could just ask yourself and answer some questions.
I'm going to ask myself some questions. You can just kind of sit there and react with your face as I go through.
I'm introducing an Emmy Award-winning host. I better frickin' get this right.
You knocked it out of the park. You did a great job. I'm so good at what I do, aren't I? Okay.
I hope you're filming right now.
These are the things. Those are the things you have to get.
The outtakes are the best.
I know.
We kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LALALAND. We've got things to do.
Room to your set today.
That's right.
I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of wine maker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at EverTalk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jezza Moyer, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Nothing better to get our thoughts right or entertain us through some podcasts and a show. Haley Ringo is in the house. She is the founder of Landed Late Night. It's a podcast and a show, right?
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So it originally started out as a podcast, and the whole idea, calling it Landed, was to, people landing in LA, landing these jobs where they came from, where they are now, and where they want to go. And so started out as a podcast, and then I realized that I wanted to, my dream job is to have my own late night show with a live audience. So I was like, I'm just going to create it myself on YouTube. And so, yeah, we launched October, and it's been going great. Yeah.
So what is your personal landed story?
Right.
Yes. Okay, so I'm from Texas originally, and then moved to Nashville for a super hot second, and then moved to LA. And honestly, I have done photography for 7 years, so I've been a photographer for a long time. And then moved here, and I think subconsciously, like I always knew that I wanted to do entertainment. I just didn't know it until I really got here and met people and had conversations. And then, yeah, through living here, like maybe for 6 months, I met a woman and she asked me if you could do anything and not fail, what would you do? And that's like what started this whole thought process and how I came up with Landed.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So that was your answer right away. You knew what you wanted to do when she asked? Or?
Not right away. So like I said, I like to wake up and have prayer meditation time, and so that's actually how I came to that idea of Landed, was through meditation. I sat in my room for like an hour and made 6 different categories of like finances, career, you know, relationships, X, Y, and Z. And in the career category, I realized I basically wrote out late night host without realizing that I wrote out late night host. And then I was like, okay, that's obviously what I want to do.
But landing in LA is not easy. And you make it sound like you've had a GPS the whole way through, but let's be honest, it can be one of the hardest moves anybody ever makes. When they pick up, they leave their friends, their family,
Most people
their
crash
jobs.
land.
It's hard to find your neighborhood, to find your tribe. So what was that honestly like for you?
Yeah, no, so you're so right. Honestly, it took me a year to find a solid friend group, and living in LA and not having friends is really difficult. I would say it's impossible, to be honest, because, you know, it can feel really lonely even though there's a lot of people around. But yeah, I think like once I found community, it kind of changed the ballgame for me, and that's, I feel like, when things started picking up and I, you know, really could connect with like what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be and my purpose. And so yeah, but it was initially really rough. Honestly though, I feel like there were a lot of blessings that God gave me that that made me feel not so alone. But like, yeah, community is the biggest thing. That's
so today we've been talking a lot about social media and how, you know, it's hard to not get jealous sometimes and get all this and what am I doing, and how do you deal with that?
Well, I'm a pretty blunt person, so I would say, you know, typically I love what you guys were saying earlier about just kind of brushing it off and trying to not tune into the negativity. I personally won't respond to it either, or I'll vent to one of my friends about it. But I don't think, like, I agree. I don't think feeding into it and just, you know, responding back with anger is going to solve anything. And then I think also, like, being around people that are uplifting, that love you and can support you, and will tell you, like, hey, that's not true about you, and this is, like, you're amazing, you're great, whatever, is really important. So again, community is very.
Yeah, that feeling the meditation and prayer helps a lot too, huh?
It does, it does.
What is your practice like? What do you do when you meditate, when you pray?
Yeah. So I'll wake up in the morning and I have, it's called Simple Habit. It's this app, it's a meditation app, and I'll, you know, turn on one. There's so many different ones you could do. So I'll do that just to kind of get my head in the right space. And then I honestly will just sit in prayer and talk to God about whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, or I'll journal my thoughts, things that I want. I really believe in the power of our words and the power of what we speak out. So.
Well, and there's power also in the pictures that you take. As a photographer, let's talk a little bit about that. What your mission is, your vision.
Yeah. So I've done photography for a long time. I think what I realized is that I don't necessarily love the art of photography itself, but I love people and I love connection. So I love showing that through my work, and I like to show a lot of emotion, a lot of movement, and document just like who the people are and what rings true to them. And I think once I realized that about me loving photography because I love people, that's when I realized, like, okay, that's why I want to be a late night host. Like, I just love people. I just want to hang out and like chat all the time. So.
What makes for the best picture?
I think when you're capturing moments and people feel. So I shoot a lot of weddings, and I think like I love doing that because I literally can go in there and shoot docu-style and just capture moments that they'll, you know, cherish for the rest of their life.
So if somebody is wanting to do that, because we're all trying to capture like the perfect Instagram post, that lifestyle moment.
Yeah, lifestyle.
The one that incites jealousy.
Yeah, portrait mode. Exactly. Like, what are some of those moments we should look for?
I mean, I think people love story, right? So like, if you're just sitting there and you're like, you know, this is all you're doing, it's not going to probably bring as much engagement. So I feel like if you're trying to go for like Instagram and getting a lot of likes or getting a lot of engagement, you want to have a photo that's going to have movement, that's going to have emotion, that's going to be like have some sort of story to it. Does that make sense?
What about the lighting? Is it better in the morning or is it better like in the evening?
Yeah, it matters. I would anytime like early morning or evening, because you don't want there to be like harsh shadows unless that's what you're going for. So yeah, like the soft lighting.
So that's like the magic hour?
The magic hour. Or you can just come and be on this set and have this. And that's a whole nother ballgame.
So tell us about some of the guests you've welcomed to your set on Landed Late Night.
Yeah, so I had Tank on. He's an R&B artist. He's phenomenal. He's so funny. I have hair in my mouth, so I can't get it out. This is live.
There you go. Yeah.
But he's super fun, super down to earth. I had a girl on her Instagram handle is Average Fashion Blogger. She's a comedian. She's hysterical. If you guys don't follow her, you need to. Shout out, baby girl. She's great. She basically just like is a blogger, but she wears like sweatpants everywhere she goes and Crocs. It's really funny. Yeah, and then
what do you think is a good interview?
When people are just relaxed and can be themselves and are fun, or if I can, I try to bring that out of people too. I try to get them to be relaxed, and so if I can be myself, then they feel like they can be themselves too, and kind of let the hair down and relax.
Yeah, I love it.
You're clearly having fun on the show.
We have a lot of fun. That's Christina Kirkman. She used to be on All That as a child. She's a hoot, y'all. We literally met on the dance floor, and that's how we became friends. And I was like twerking or something, and she was doing the same thing, and we were like, yes, this is happening.
This has landed late
you
night.
You were going to be on my show.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So
that's cute.
She did twerk in Trader Joe's for the show. It was great. I'm surprised they haven't kicked me out, to be honest, but not yet.
I mean, you're doing some wild antics all over town.
Yes.
Where are you coming up with these ideas?
My head. I do this stuff like all the time in my own spare time, just for fun. And then I was like, I should just put this on YouTube or like in videos and stuff, and then I should try to get my guests to do it too. And some people are down, others not so much. But yeah, the ones that are down, we go all out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything specific you've learned from doing all these interviews? Anything like life lessons that you've learned that you just didn't know before, but now you feel pretty clear?
Yeah, I knew this before, but I don't think it really hit home is like you can't do anything alone. Like no one is self-made. You need people helping you that believe in you along the way.
Perfect time to shout out our connector, Jennifer Lynn Callahan.
Yes,
Thank
girl,
you for the.
We love you. You are an angel. I'm like, this camera? But yeah, she's incredible. She got me on the show, so.
All right. So tell people where they can find your show.
So it's on YouTube, and it's called Landed Late Night. And yeah, just if you type in Landed Late Night, Haley Ringo, it should pop up. It will pop up. And yeah, so it's on YouTube right now, but the goal is to have like a full live audience one day. So that would be ideal.
That.
Yeah.
Manifest that destiny,
yes, girl. Here we go. Let's get it out.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, La La Land. Welcome to your home for talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, and this is Ever Talk TV, America's first live streaming video talk show platform. This week on Ever Talk, our shows were filled with positivity, enlightenment, insta fame, insta scandals, and binge-worthy conversations. Let's take a look.
Today's guest dislikes titles. Although he is an amazing, talented actor and a real-life Viking, he prefers to be valued by how many belly laughs he can get you to have in the shortest amount of time.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering, and this is the Housewives of Hollywood. You might think you know the Housewives, but it's not rosé all day, Pilates, and finding the best nannies. It's women supporting women, and today I have a very special guest, and we might have to change the name just to Housewives of Beverly Hills for Tori Spelling. Tori, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, anything for you.
We kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LALALAND. We've got things to do.
Room to your set today.
That's right.
I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of winemaker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at Ever Talk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. Ever Talk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at Ever Talk TV. I'm Jezza Moyer, and we'll see you next time. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and we are talking straight dirt today with New York's premier landscape artist, Steve Griggs. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome.
Welcome to LaLaLand.
Yeah. Is there much if there's in yards in New York? I mean, there's not much there. You go up straight up to the top, right?
I went to school in Mississippi. When I was down there, they would say to me, Southern girls would say, "Is there grass in New York?" Yes, I live in the suburbs, and there's grass, and there's houses, and you go into the city, and then there's the skyscrapers with all the rooftops and all that. Yes. So
got a landscape somewhere up on those rooftops.
Got a landscape somewhere.
When did your love for landscaping start?
The love for landscaping. Well, basically, I was in high school and had to figure out what to do with college. So I figured, let's do something outside. I can't be in an office.
Yeah.
I like to be creative, and that's kind of how it just evolved. Started with cutting grass.
And you literally took it straight to the top, because some of the most glamorous places to be in New York City are the rooftops.
Yes, and you said to me before the show, you guys want to go on location, so
yes,
we'll do your manifesting.
Let's do it.
Manifest New York LaLaLand.
Let's do
right
it.
here.
Right.
We'll put it
Love
on the
that.
rooftop somewhere.
Because
That'd be great.
LaLaLand is not about LA. LaLa is really about the mindset, and you've got a great mindset.
Thank you.
What was your mindset that got you this great success?
Man, my father was a construction worker in New York, you know, like anybody else. Hard times growing up, and I didn't want to do that. And you just do it. Like the motto, I have 2 sons, and the motto is never give up. I mean, just never give up. No matter what happens, you just keep pushing forward.
Was there ever a time when you wanted to give up?
All the time.
Yeah, every day, huh?
Every day.
Yeah.
It's like you just got to just keep doing it, you know. But you know, very grateful for everything. Grateful to be here in Los Angeles. I'm just a landscaper. I mean, dig holes. But I know.
But they're really beautiful holes.
Yeah, there's so much more to it than that. It's not just digging holes. It's bringing a vision to life. That's true art.
That's I kind of play it down a little bit, but that's kind of what it is. If somebody's going to spend X amount of dollars in their backyard, and I have to create a vision for it and display them, and then when you go into their backyard and you start making a giant hole with the swimming pool and all, they really have to trust you. Yeah. You know, and you know, they say, you know, it takes, whatever, 10,000 hours to become an expert. Right. I've been doing this.
More.
I got gray hair. I'm 58, so I've been doing this a really long time.
So this is all about a lifestyle, you say. So how do you interview the people? How do you figure out what is the lifestyle for them? How do you bring that?
It's kind of like a doctor, you know. It's kind of exactly like a doctor. You go in there, you ask them certain questions, and entertainment, and pets, and kids, and just try to, you know, capture what they're trying to feel, and you just basically put it out there. Of course, you know, you have to have the checkbook to make it come to reality.
That
but
helps.
So why did they write you the checks, Steve? What is it about you?
Why do they write? That's a great question, Jasmine. Why do they write? I bring it. I bring it. There's no excuses. I say what I'm going to do, and I get it done, and that is it.
What are some of the favorite projects you've got done?
If you look through the book, it's on the rooftops, putting a swimming pool over a cliff. Done a couple jobs for some higher celebrity type people, but you know, they seem, it's just, the more challenging the better, right? You know, I always say the motto is commit first and figure it out later. If they say, hey, can you put a pool on the edge? Sure, and we'll figure it out later. I mean,
Totally, right.
I love that. Just say yes.
Just say yes. Just if anybody else, just say yes to life. Just say yes. I can't emphasize that enough. Just keep showing up. Just do it. I don't know. Is it, you know?
Have you been to any certain places in the world that have inspired your vision as an artist?
Just in New York City, you know, how do you get trees and dirt and plants 40 stories up in a building, right?
Just say yes and figure it out later.
That's exactly right. and a bunch of parking tickets later.
Right, yeah.
'Cause you get a lot of
funny
things.
thing about you is that you come across kind of as this New Yorker. You're very good at what you do, and you have a little bit of I don't know if I'd say spiritual or whatever, but we've had some conversations before the show and stuff, and you're talking about breath work, you're talking about going to the cold plunge.
I was talking about the spiritual stuff. Driving in Manhattan, I would watch her on the podcast, deep breathe 3 times or whatever, and it actually works. I was talking to her before the show about the breathing exercise. And in New York, you got to do a lot of breathing.
Oh, it's critical. Yes.
That's crazy.
You really do in New York.
It's crazy, but you know, but it's all good. It's how we do it.
What's the hardest part of the work that you do? Is it translating what the customer client wants into reality? Is it something different? What would you say is the hardest part of what you do?
The hardest part is execution, because you have to take their vision and you have to kind of put it in 3D, right?
Yeah.
So I put it on paper, which is 1D, 2D, then I have to translate it to 3D. And basically, I consider myself like an orchestra, right? You have to kind of put all the pieces together and make it happen at the end. When they come out, say, wow, that's when you did your job. Yeah. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. And it's not about the money. It's it's really about creating it. You gotta love what you do. I mean, playing in the dirt and creating it it's love. That's what I do.
Pools, cliffside, dive right in.
That's it. Just right. Or rooftop pool, cliffside, whatever it takes. You know.
I love it. What a beautiful book too.
Thank you.
Kind of challenge. That's a whole other thing. You're an author also, so that's a whole other
best-selling author. Yes,
right?
Thanks to David Breyer. He did all the branding out there for the book and all that, and Patricia Ross for the book. But yeah, it's exciting.
Right.
So what can we find in the book?
It's straight dirt. Yeah, it's straight dirt. You should.
Are you talking dirty to me?
I gave everybody a copy. You can read it. It's basically about no nonsense. You know, honestly, like I've read a lot of landscape architecture books. I'm kind of bored. They're boring. Mine is quick, short, straight up, no nonsense. Just tell it like it is. It's not a long book. It's the pictures. It's really about the pictures.
My favorite kind of book.
Well, you're
I don't want to read it, so I just read the book.
You're such a gem, and we're just so happy to have you all the way out on the west side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
We'll have to come visit you on the east side.
Oh yeah, we're taking
La La
it
Land
straight
to New York.
straight to the top.
Where can people find the book and buy the book?
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Go to stevegriggs.com. If you have a landscaping question, here's my cell phone, 914-879-5602. I mean, I'm basically an open book.
There you go.
I love that about you.
I just
truly love that about you.
Straight dirt and straight
Really
dirt.
Straight up dirt.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thanks,
Stay tuned.
everybody.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm Kimberly Chang, and I'm a woman warrior.
And then another one, nonsense. I'm just kidding. You guys are all so newsy. I'm like, who was that? Was that Liberty?
Do you want the definition of a woman warrior?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Oh, I'm definitely, she's like,
okay.
Give me the question. So it could be resilience.
No, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, great. Done. That's a great one. Woo! Love that.
We're going to keep it real on Sweat with Soul. That's a wrap.
Okay. I said Dr. Bishop. I'm just having fun. This is so hard. What else do I need to do? Oh. That's my life. That's funny. No, can we start all over? That's too much talking. Do I just talk again? That was so hard. Thank you. Listen to our small voice. That's what we're going to be talking about with the experts and authors of Small Voice Says, Mike Mackenzie Morrison. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Great to have you.
Clearly, you've done some incredible work, not only with putting this into the book, but teaching your daughter how to listen to her small voice. What a beautiful story. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, well, somewhere around age 4, conscience starts to develop, right? We start to feel that tug of the small voice. So when Mackenzie was a little girl, that was the time when it was a poem I originally wrote about small voice versus big voice. So we started to bring that into the family conversation. What does your small voice say?
So what is the small voice?
Well, the small voice would be your conscience, right? It's that little inner voice that sometimes we can hear that kind of tells us what's right or wrong or what we should really do in this situation.
So we call it like the intuition is what you're talking about?
Could be intuition, but it's also that little internal voice that tells us what's the right thing to do.
So how did that affect you at 4 years old?
Yeah, I think as a child it was really fun to have an actual question be asked to you. I felt very validated and sort of respected. And it's sort of it's an interesting question. If you ask yourself, what does your small voice say? You have to think about it for a second.
Yeah, I love that.
It's true.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate between that still small voice and the inner critic, right? How do you make that distinction? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that one.
Yeah, and that's important, particularly for young kids, because that voice of judgment, that inner critic says you're not smart enough, you're not cute enough to do this. So that's why at an early age it's important to start developing that small voice that we can start to access. Say, no, I can do this. I am good enough to try this.
So you put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Tell us about the book you wrote and what your mission is.
Well, this book, the illustrator is Nina Stummer, and I think she really elevated our whole idea. And we really want children and parents to use it as a tool to connect more, and again, like start that conversation at a very young age.
It's so touching that you guys did this together.
I know.
It's
It's really-
adorable.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But there's even very much intention behind what Angela's wearing. Let's talk about her look and how she uses that to empower herself, because fashion does speak. I'm a huge advocate of that. So let's talk about that.
Me too. I was very, very close to her outfit. Everything has a little bit of symbolism attached to it.
So cute.
Yeah,
She's so cute.
She has little combat boots on, which I think shows her adventurous spirit. She's up for anything. The floral dress is kind of like she can go with the flow. And then that little red scarf, I think, is her own touch of style, like her own sense of personality.
Tell us about her little cloud friend.
That's the small voice.
That's the
small voice. Yeah.
Oh, if you ever wondered what it looked like, it's right here.
That's so cute.
That's phenomenal. How has listening to that still small voice for each of you served you in your life?
I mean, I think every day to my small voice, and sometimes you are trying, like you're talking too much, quiet down, or I need to hear you more. So it's just learning how to discern what that is for you and to make you a better person.
Yeah.
And it's when someone says to you, just be yourself. And sometimes we have to think, well, which self? Is it my on-camera self or my fun self, or I want to be cool self? And so it's so important, particularly today, with all the distractions and fragmentation in our lives, particularly with our little ones, because we get ahead of them in the conversation. But to have them have this sense that there is this little voice within inside me that's true to me, that's authentic, that I can reach into.
I think it's just so incredibly important. I know that for me, I can't imagine being happy without being in touch with that small voice, right? It's sort of like this constant friend that's always with you, that's always leading you in the right direction.
And it looks like a little cloud.
And that's like a little cloud. Yes, exactly right.
What would you guys say for people out there, the conversation about social media and how people, it's hard sometimes, it's in your face. There's, people do get jealous or envious sometimes. What would you say? How could they listen to that small voice?
Well, one thing we're really promoting is, there's so much screen time, but for our little ones, is that end of day, make it special, make it a ritual. That's when we read and we kind of reach closure on the day. And instead of the last thing we sing being social media or someone else's voice that's telling you how to be popular, is to use that time to kind of end the day with your own little voice, some little story that's starting to inspire or enrich you. But end the day, before you go off into that Neverland, right, have some positive voices in your head. For most people, the last thing they see or hear is on a screen, and it's the first thing they see in the morning. So we're trying to help parents build a new ritual.
Love that. So great. So tell people where they can find the book and what's your mission with the book? Are you getting it?
Yes, I mean, you can find it on Amazon or smallvoicesays.com. But we also have been, bringing into libraries and schools, and we're going to be reading at a school tomorrow, and just we want everyone to be able to access it.
Yeah, and even though it's a children's book, I have to say, I feel like most of us as adults really need and can appreciate being reminded of the small voice, right?
Totally.
Exactly. Yeah, it's our little motto is this is not a book you read to, but it's a book you read with. And the hope is that parents too will start to. That becomes more of a family question, not just a question for the young ones, but, well, Dad, what does your small voice say you should be doing here? It sounds like you're struggling. What do you really, really want to do?
When did you learn to listen to that?
As a kid, I think we all start to, feel that tug early on, and then as we did research for the book, that became kind of the, as it evolved, was how do we create a little meme, a little question that's not threatening, that's empowering, that would get kids to think. Your child doesn't want to go to the birthday party. Instead of saying, you're going, it's well, your friends' feelings will be hurt. What does your small voice say you should do? So get them to start thinking about it.
love that. So great, you guys. So inspiring. Really touching. Truly. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Tell them one more time where they can find you.
Yes, so Amazon or www.smallvoicesays.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Mollier. This is Good Morning La La Land.
Hello and welcome to Hashtag.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering, and this is the Housewives of Hollywood.
I'm Joanna Garzilli. You're watching Life Stories.
So welcome to Getting Real with Pamela, a positive and purposeful show about passionate people and their journeys.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eyes Up Here. I'm your host, Lindsay Palos.
Welcome back to another episode of Mind, Body, Spirit. I'm Dr. Kate.
It is time for another episode of Sassy and Single, because that's what I am. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie.
Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Erica Dela Cruz, the hashtag Passionista. Welcome to Passion to Paycheck.
She shares all her tricks in her new book, Your Healthiest Healthy, The Beautiful and Talented, Samantha Harris.
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to the Dose of Bliss Show.
I'm Harry Howard. I am him.
Welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show, and every week I have the honor of interviewing a game changer in the wellness arena.
Hi, welcome to Defining Moments. I'm Suzanne Quas.
Hi guys, my name is Serena Poon and welcome to my show, Serena Live.
Hello, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I'm Brad Grunberg.
And you're watching
How to Start.
What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans?
My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon and welcome to another episode of Sippin' the Tea.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
This is my first TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
Bye. Bye.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We're talking about being your true self, listening to your heart, and following your bliss. And
that inner small voice.
The inner small voice that you see right there. And so I guess the question I have for each of you is that, you know, you've each really impressed upon me the incredible importance of following your heart and doing what you most deeply, truly love. But lots of people don't know what that is. And even when they do know what it is, sometimes they get to a crossroads and they're not sure what decision to make. And so I wonder for each of you, what you would recommend to other people to do if they want to discover their passion or purpose or hear their heart in a sort of stronger way. Is there anything that you would recommend?
Yeah.
Steve? Yeah.
Straight up New York, just do it.
Just do it, Nike.
Stop sitting there whining, excuses, just freaking do it. I mean, I don't know how else to say, but just get off and do it.
You know, though, it's funny that you say that straight up New York, because it is straight up New York. What is it about New Yorkers that just get that?
They just get it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, when you're in the city, it's just everybody's just busy and moving. It's just like they don't have no time for the excuses and just get it done. When we do a job on a rooftop in New York, they don't want to hear your dog ate your homework or whatever. They just want it done and done on time and done on budget. And really, that's what it comes to.
You know what else it is? It's the car traffic and foot traffic. Because if you don't decide and you don't move, you'll get run over. And you have to discover that real quickly.
Yeah.
You have to, you know.
It's amazing how many people walk around the city and they wear the earbuds. I'm surprised it's not walking over by a car.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I agree, just doing it. I think it's important, like I said earlier, to take time to sit with your thoughts and really think through what you really want in life and what you really desire. And then just being fearless in doing those things. You know, anyone can do whatever they want to do. I mean, everyone started out really, really small. Like Steve Jobs started out in a garage, and you see that photo with like everyone starts out in a garage. But it's inspiring. And then you have the one of like Oprah, what happened when she was younger, and everyone hits these challenges. But guys, like, you have to start somewhere. And so just get out of your own head and get out of your own way, and just take over the world.
I love that. Just real quick, so I have this friend I went to graduate school with, and I'm not going to call him out, shout him out, he's probably watching, but he asked him, I called him one day, and I said, hey, how are you? And he said, fine, can I call you right back? I'm buying a car. I said, oh, awesome, I love cars. What kind of car are you buying? He's like, I'm buying a Lamborghini Gallardo. I was like, oh, well, you're going to need more than a few minutes because, financing and all that. He's like, no, I'm just paying cash. And I remember thinking, what? Yeah. So I asked him, I said, how did you become so successful? And he said, honestly, Rob, I was graduating from law school, and I knew I was the dumbest person in the class. So before anybody else got a jump on it, I called the production company and said, I want to shoot commercial. And when they showed up, they said, hey, what kind of commercial do you want to shoot? What kind of lawyer are you? He said, I hadn't even thought of it. So I told them, he's like, I told them, I don't know, I'm in Vegas. I'll be a bankruptcy lawyer. On the spot, they said, are you sure? This is like a lot of money you're spending on shooting a commercial. He said, yes. He said the very next day after the commercial aired, he got all these phone calls, and people were asking him, how do I do X and Y and Z around bankruptcy law? And he said, I had to literally say, hold on 1 second. I'm going to consult with my partner. He had no partners. Yeah. He went to Google, Googled it, came back and said, oh, we've decided this is the answer for you. But he became incredibly successful just because he did it.
Right. And that brings you to your point. When you said, figure it out later. Just say yes. Correct. And figure it out later. Yeah. So many people
commit first, figure it out later.
So many people get stuck behind that, especially in LA, and they're like, oh, have this vision board and commit to something, blah, blah, blah. And then they get stuck because they don't know, well, what the heck do I put on my board? I don't know what kind of destiny I want to manifest. If you just make a decision, it can evolve. Yes. And you can make some money in the meantime. Get a
and figure out over the way, if it's right or wrong. If you're going down the wrong path, then you just kind of reroute.
Exactly.
Figure it out along the way. No one really knows what they're doing. You just figure it out.
That's a very good point.
And like they say, right, fake it until you can make it. Act like you're in that role. Act like you have some of that success, and the body starts to follow.
Absolutely.
It's so important. Just practice. I believe in just practicing the vibration of what it feels like, or what it would feel like to be rich, successful, or happy, and you find that over time it becomes more and more familiar. Right?
How about you?
I think looking back, even with Small Voice Says, if you saw the first draft to what it finally became, it's mind-blowing. So to the point of just do it, it's it seems so daunting. We want to write this book. It took us 3 years, but we did it, and now it's here, and every time I actually can feel it, I get a little emotional because it just, you put the hard work in, and it pays off. So
it's hard when we compare those. You see all these highly produced books and shows and everything. It's hard to go, well, how can you even begin? But I remember years ago just being like, oh, this isn't the greatest content, but you just put it out and slowly build on it.
Let it evolve,
Yeah.
And it's not always the best content that goes viral. Right? I mean, that's the other thing. You often see it's the roughest cut. Somebody just happened to catch their little one spilling the milk at just the right moment. They post it, and it's a huge success.
Yeah, it was not heavily produced, published.
There was no Andy Waldman to support them. It's so true.
It was just honest and heartfelt. So what's next for you guys? What's your biggest passion right now? What are you most excited about?
I think for me right now, it's the grind. I'm in the in-between. I started the show. It was so exciting launching it, and now I'm having to stick it out and just, like you said, keep posting and keep putting out content. I have, a lot of peace about it, but I think for me, I'm learning to be excited about the in-between. I'm learning to be excited about the process and to be present in the moment and stop looking for because life's a journey, and that's...
Oh my goodness, right? And how can you persist if you don't enjoy the parts in between? Exactly. It's impossible. Exactly. It's a marathon.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a race.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I just want to shout out also, you're a positive psychologist.
Right.
We didn't know that. Tell us a little bit about that practice.
Well, it's year 2000, and some psychologists were sitting around, and they go, psychology has only met habits for the last 100 years, and that's getting us from being depressed or whatever back to neutral. It's getting us back to neutral, but it wasn't looking at what does an extraordinary life look like? What's neutral plus? So today there's thousands of positive psychologists who are looking at the other side of it. Where does energy come from? What do our values mean to us? So embedded in our book, right, is this notion of positive psychology. How do we bring the best out in each other?
I love that. Yeah, that Sounds very familiar.
Two positive psychologists on the cast.
I always think about also with like doing subconscious work as a doctor. If anyone would do a lot of stuff, and everyone wants to become enlightened off of doing your subconscious work, and it doesn't really do that. What it does is it gets you back to neutral. It gets you back to having freedom of choice. But to really get you what I think is the next level, whether you want to call it positive psychology or spirituality, it really you've got to dig a lot deeper to get to that next level. Yeah, it's so important.
It is important, and it's interesting because the one thing that I feel from all of you, you're deeply passionate about what you do, and you're also very focused. And we know that, like, from a positive psychology perspective, flow state, when you're in a flow state, you are 500 to 1,000% more productive and more effective. So if you can be or spend more time in the flow state, you can outpace or outrun anybody doing anything else in the world. So I just love that. Is there anything that you guys have discovered about being your best? You know, anything that helps you to be your best on a consistent basis and get in that flow state?
Keep doing Dr. Erin's breathing.
There it is.
Told me that before the show. Sitting in traffic in Manhattan, you got to do the breathing.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think constantly bringing your mindset to being positive and helpful. You know, we're our own worst enemy, and so it's a daily thing for me to be like, I got this. You know, this is. I have this vision for a reason, and it's going to be successful, and I don't know what that looks like. But just, you know, telling your things, positive affirmations daily, has been really beneficial for me and puts me in a flow state. What would you think from a psychologist perspective?
You know, our lives are just logistical in nature, just getting a meal on the table or getting someplace. So it's easy to be de-energized. So you have to pay attention to what energizes me, what gets me going back, and you've got to know those little triggers. If you don't, you can lose the day. So it's knowing what energizes you can really, you know, allow you to, whether it's a cup of coffee or a little time with the cat, you know, can kind of bring you back into that space.
Oh, it's profound. I love that. To that end, folks now talk about energy management mostly instead of time management, because you don't really manage time as much as you manage energy to use that time effectively.
That's interesting. What is energy management?
Just what he described. So it's basically identifying your happiness islands, success islands. Happiness islands are those things that basically energize you. Happiness valleys, are things that drain you of energy. And so what you're wanting to do is basically outsource, delegate, reduce, eliminate all the valleys. And you're wanting to focus and double down on all of the islands.
And use the time of the day when you feel the most productive.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Very
Great
important.
point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're always working on that for sure. Yeah.
So what energizes you?
You know, I think friends and family too, not being afraid to sort of reach out to your friends when you need that flow energy again, and just a little bit of validation or some fun too, to kind of get yourself out of yourself for a second.
Pattern interrupt helps also for me. Like when I'm getting kind of stuck, it's like, okay, let's just completely stop what you're doing, completely get out of that pattern.
Yeah, I love that.
Vice versa, for sure.
I think delegation too, like figure out what it is that you're not best at or what drains you, and if you can, hire somebody else to do it.
It's a great point.
Don't feel guilty about that.
No, do not feel guilty about that.
There are people who are experts who actually enjoy the organizing or the tasks that you might consider to be a menial, boring task or you struggle with. Somebody really can rise in that and shine. Let them do that.
Yeah, just give up control. It's going to benefit you in the long run. If you don't want to do it, then you don't have to, you know, and then you can focus your energy on things that you're passionate about.
That is brilliant. And that goes back to a point that we mentioned earlier, really, is that the most extraordinary people, they focus on their strengths. They don't focus on shoring up weaknesses. They delegate the weaknesses. So I just love that point.
I just deny the weakness.
Just don't deny.
Denial is key.
Yes. Your avoidance works too.
Well, no, it doesn't really, but hey.
That's okay. I love it.
It's okay. We're Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also catch all these interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. You guys have a great Thought Thursday. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and check out all these extraordinary people and read a book tonight.
Listen to your small voice. It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.